upstate sheriff says his jail is bursting at the seams. The detention center in Cherokee County is currently housing 100 more inmates than it was built to hold. And the sheriff says in the past it's been even worse. 7 News' Julia Keener has more in a story you'll see only on 7 News.
The sheriff tells us since the day the Cherokee County Jail was built, it was overcrowded. And now, nearly 30 years later, they are still struggling to keep up. Recent inspection reports list nearly 30 violations at the Cherokee County Detention Center, citing overcrowding as the source of the problems. Those span from living units.
This unit has 40 in it, there's 28 beds, and there's 40 women in there.
To the kitchen.
Setting water right there, that's not clean.
Storage rooms.
We'll go through this amount of supplies in about 2 months. And
the day rooms where boats or makeshift beds are put down every night due to the lack of bunks.
Why come we don't have a bed? Why come I can't stay in my bed? Or why can I not do this? Or we don't have enough room, we don't have enough water, everybody's in the bathroom, taking up too much space.
Fixing this, Sheriff Steve Mueller says, is ultimately up to County Council. He says it's unlikely they would expand the current facility since it was built on a floodplain, but a new detention center would cost upwards of $90 million.
I can honestly say as a sheriff, I feel like we've got a group on our council that they realize that can's been kicked down the road so much that you can't kick the can anymore. They've got to address the problem.
Jail Administrator Major Stephen Anderson says every county council member has toured the facility within the last year.
At the end of the day, it's your biggest liability in the county, so it's one of the places that you need to take more attention to.
The issue is figuring out how a project of this size would be funded.
It's tough because one thing we know is people are still going to make poor choices, there's still going to be arrests, and so there will always be a need to have a facility that will house inmates.
They say what they are doing now and have been doing for decades just isn't working.
Clustered and crowded, and so even as an officer, you feel overcrowded.
All these are band-aid approaches to fix things to get DOC satisfied, but it doesn't solve our long-term problem, which is housing sometimes 300 plus inmates.
Sheriff Mueller says sooner rather than later the facility will need to be replaced.
Councilmen sitting on council, 30 years from now, they won't be faced with the dilemma that our current council is faced with.
In Cherokee County, Julia Keener, 7 News.
And Major Anderson says only once in his nearly 16 years in the position has the inmate count been under 150.